your hands, everybody. And everybody just clap your hands.
Greg, with Dad being in vaudeville, all the years, I put 2 books together. They've got one down at the Hysterical Society.
Right.
And that's mostly, like the thing says, Monk Watson and his friends. Those were the ones in the vaudeville days that signed to Monk with Love and to Monk Watson, the best master of ceremonies. And, but this one is more personal. It's got a lot of our family stuff in it, and a lot of friends. There's a picture in there on the Paramount studio where Bob Hope was in Fancy Pants, the movie. And we were allowed on the set, and Bob was dancing in the movie. And he stopped. He recognized Dad, and he said, "Hey, look, Monk, I'm still dancing." And he started doing some of his hoofer stuff. And we spent the afternoon with him. And I've got a great picture in there, you've seen it. But when I went to college out in California, I had the run of Bob Hope's suite at Paramount Studios.
Oh my.
And it was his brother Jack, who did all the publicity, and I became very, very dear friends. And he was a big man among big men.
Oh yes.
I loved him. And of course, Edgar Bergen, you
Right.
know. And we were out in Las Vegas, Mickey, and there were 3 other girls, and they were all about 8.5 months pregnant. And we got a hold, Jack Benny had just done a show out at the Dunes, and I called him in his room. And I said, "I just wanted to tell you what a great show it was. I'm Monk's son, Bill." He said, "Well, I know you." He said, "Where are you?" I said, "We're downstairs." He said, "Stay right there." I said, "You don't have to come down. I know you're hot and sweaty." And he said, "No, no, no." Well, he came down and looked at those 4 girls, and they said, "Are you really that way, or did you have a sale on those smocks?" So they were all wonderful people. But nothing, Greg, like the camaraderie and the real love that people have for each other at the get-together here in Colon. There is just that feeling. And of course we all still talk about Dorney Dornfield. And it's interesting, people didn't know that my dad and Dorney were together in New York on the Elsie Janis show, way back right after the First World War.
I was going to say that.
And yeah.
The 20s, early 20s.
Yep. So there was a lot of love there with these guys. So anyway, I put together this book that I keep at home here. Of course, there's a good old Tops a great old Tops magazine. It's got Carol Fox, and my dad always had an article called "The Professional Touch." Let me just riff through some of this. This was Dad when he was in the Army in the First World War. He was on 6 fronts. This is how he carried stretchers. And there's a big picture of him in the Colliers. This was Elsie Janis, God love her. And here's Dad. This was his orchestra. Probably can't see much there. My mother, God love her. And as I progress through this thing, there's Dad, Harry Blackstone. Back in the good old days. Joe Penner, yuck, yuck, yuck. You picture Harry. This is a picture with Bob Hope. Dad was doing the linking rings with Bob on the same thing of fancy pants.
Okay.
Of course, Bob had the crooked rings.
Right. As if he'd stretched them.
Yeah. And then, of course, here's the picture of all of us. This is me, Dad, Bob, my mother, and my sister Marilyn. This is Bob and Dad in later years. You probably can't get a shot of that. But the memories that I had of Colin and everything were just wonderful, you know. And that's why everybody likes to come back.
Sure. It's like it is a get together.
Yes.
It's like a reunion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've heard it called Magic Week. I've heard it called a reunion, but it's not. It's a get-together, and the get-together is that's what we do. We just don't go to a show, and then everybody goes to their room, or they come out for dinner.
Right.
They find places on the lakes, and they have lunches together, and it's just a real get-together.
Clap your hands, everybody, and everybody.